Are you ready to challenge yourself and think bigger? I'm your host, Marianne Marchese, and together we'll hear the unfiltered, unscripted stories of those who've taken big risks and transformed their bold ideas into reality. Season 1 is brought to you by multi-award-winning law firm Legalite, where bold ideas thrive. Hello there. Joining me today is Tobi Skovron, a trailblazing entrepreneur who's reimagined what it means to build community and culture at work. As co-founder of Creative Cubes, he's created one of Australia's most dynamic ecosystems, putting member experience right at the heart. And with his latest venture, Rise Network, he's continuing to push boundaries for ambitious leaders. Hi, Tobi.
Thanks for having me.
It's such a pleasure to have you.
It's a privilege for me too.
Thank you. Tobi, you co-founded Creative Cubes in 2016.
Yeah.
Before COVID, before hybrid work.
Yeah.
It's almost like you had like this crystal ball of what the future of work would look like.
I think you're giving me too much there, but yes.
What gap did you see in the market at that time that was the spark for Creative Cubes?
So I think a lot of successful product, services, and experience comes from people going, it doesn't exist, and I think I can do this. And so for me, I lived in Los Angeles for just shy of a decade. My girls were born there. I proudly grew up in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
I was 27 when I left there. I was 37 when I got back.
Wow, long time, a decade.
Yeah. And my girls were born there, and Sim and I grew together there. We were newly married in 2007, and we chose to go abroad. And so Sim, as much as I love her, would come in to our North American headquarters, which was the spare bedroom in our Venice Beach 3-bedroom apartment. It was our North American headquarters for Petloo back
Always
then.
starts in an apartment.
Yeah. The best ones start in garages, but this was actually a 3-bedroom apartment.
We'll take it.
Yeah. The second bedroom was for guests that were coming into Los Angeles to see us all the time. And the third was our bedroom. Sim would come in to the office while I'm working at the most inconvenient of times. And I got to a point where I was doing a disservice to the marriage because I was always working, because it was just so easy to just drift into the third bedroom. And I probably wasn't doing my best work because I was constantly distracted. And so out of pure need to compartmentalize work and play, I moved into a co-working space in Santa Monica, which happened to be the old Google headquarters of Los Angeles.
Oh, cool.
So super cool building, Wi-Fi roof deck.
Did they really have a slide going from one
slide
of them? They did?
Poles, slide poles and fish tanks. Amazing. And I came alive as an entrepreneur. I was like, wow, there are actually other people just like me, probably better than me, but just like me, doing incredible things. And that's when I recognized my personal elevation as an entrepreneur and as a businessman. I completely elevated because surrounding myself amongst like-minded go-get-em people, when I walked in, I couldn't be the ball and chain here. I needed to be out front and trying to be elite myself. Even though you're running your law firm and I'm running my pet business and she's running her PR business, like we're all doing very different things, but the conversations at the water cooler or on the roof deck or going for burgers at lunchtime with the guys that founded Uber, or the founding team at Snapchat. Like this sort of stuff is elevating.
So cool. It lifts you up.
Yeah. And so I had a relative amount of success in Los Angeles. I exited 2 businesses while I was there over a 10-year period. And we had to come home because unfortunately my wife's mum was unwell and we wanted our kids to be around grandparents and we just had to come home.
Yeah.
And so it was like, what's next? It was like, if I look at the success that I think I had a good product. I think I knew how to sell, but actually the motivation during the dark days when stuff wasn't working or stuff wasn't as fluid as I wanted to be, and let's be honest, those days are more common than not. I put it down to my success came from being surrounded and being in an ecosystem of like-minded people that ultimately elevated me. And so coming back to Australia, I recognized tall poppy syndrome here. And so
it's so prevalent here.
Yeah. I'm the guy that wants to go against the grain at all times. Upstream is the new downstream. Everyone can go play downstream. I'm going to play up here where there's no interruption, there's no disruption. I can do my own thing. I'm not trying to be competitive. Let everyone compete downstream for the fish up there. And I may not get as many fish, but like lifestyle and experience and happiness is
and you feel comfortable with the way that you're conducting yourself.
Exactly. And so I recognize what that co-working space did for me. And I wanted that for everyone else
I
that
love
wanted to
that.
go out and achieve for themselves.
Love that. And you obviously brought that here, and we've been members since pretty much day one.
Yeah.
And it is more than a place to just plug in a laptop.
Yeah.
How did you brought that vision with you to Australia? How did you create that culture where you're so dependent on your members and the people that work there that they also need to see it as a place that's more than just plugging in a laptop? And there are many places like that exist.
Yeah.
How did you create that and embed that into the way that members are when they are present at the office?
Yeah, sure. So I think there's a whole bunch of things to unpack there. The first and foremost is I want everyone to win. Yeah, I understand the feeling I got when I won. I won twice when I was in the US. I probably won a lot more times, but just business-wise, I love the feeling of winning. But when you win by yourself, it's actually quite lonely. It's not depressing, but it's borderline not as great as it should
it's
be.
like pretty deflating when you have a win and if you're solo, it's like, okay.
Yeah, it's like,
who
where
am
is
I
everyone?
celebrating
Yeah?
this with? Yeah.
So I wanted everyone to win, right? And in order to help them win, you have to have no ego. You have to be about service. You absolutely have to be about experience because, like I said a few moments ago, there are more dark days in business than light. And so I had the unfortunate circumstance of losing my dad at the age of 16.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, he was 44. I'm 45 on Thursday, by the way.
Wow.
Yeah. But the thing that really like struck a chord with me with that is that we're not here for a long time. So why are we spending hours and days and months and years like Monday blues? Like I'm so excited to go to work on a Monday.
Same.
I actually hate Fridays. not that it's that bad, but just that like I love executing the mission and vision.
Yeah.
And I love the energy that I get from my own buildings, by the way. Like as much as it is for our people and our members in our community, like I get a real like shot in the arm when I'm seeing people like yourself or James Shadrach who rocked up to my co-working space in Cremorne in 2017 with a skateboard and a video camera and said, I want to create content. And if you know anything about him today, he's like delivering content for almost everyone.
Yeah, I do. We've used him before. He's amazing.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
So like I get inspiration from that I helped enable that, or my team helped enable his success. My team help you on a daily basis, just take care of the shit. Yeah. So it allows you to focus on the real rocks. Yeah.
Which is the real stuff. You mentioned before as well that it injects you with that motivation and passion to keep going. And I think there's really a lot to be said for that what business gives you as the founder.
Yep.
Can you talk to me a bit more about that?
Yeah, I mean, so I'm trying to, and I think we're doing it successfully. I always think we can do it better, but I'm trying to inject happiness in a place and sometimes in a painful place. Yeah, like here in Victoria, there's a lot of businesses that have hit the wall and gone bang.
Oh, for
Yeah,
sure.
like especially in the last 4 years. And so, by the way, that's also been like, we'll talk about like the dark times. Like it hurts my soul when you work really hard to retain a member and help them on a daily basis. And then for whatever reason, they lose their business because of government whatevers. That hurts me. And I actually carry that like really a lot. I'm working hard on trying to not be as emotional about it.
Be detached. It is hard when you're so passionate about business as well. And what you are providing, very similar to us, we're supporting businesses through their growth and helping them to scale. So when they hit a wall or when they close down, it's really quite gutting.
Yeah.
And you feel it on a founder level as well, because that could be anybody.
Totally.
It's no business is really immune from it, especially disruptive businesses, because you're already breaking the mold. It's already harder. You're already facing more challenges.
Yeah.
So it's, it's like you have to take it to that next level just to survive.
So there's actually a wild stat out there that more than 90% of startups fail. We run a program called Pitch for a Spot, which is coming up in October, where we give away 12 months rent-free for up to 10 businesses.
I love that. And you've done that since 2017.
Actually, this year we tip over the $1 million mark of
cool.
give. So we've given over $1 million of free rent to startups. But the point that I'm trying to articulate here is that inside my ecosystem, inside the Cube's ecosystem, I'm trying to prevent failure. I'm trying to enable success. Like we exist to enable success. And we do that in wild and wonderful ways. But really we put the customer or our member at the center of everything we do. And if we can help them win, then by default we win, but we never put ourselves in front.
That is so true. As a member, I can say 100% hand on heart, you absolutely do that.
Yeah.
I mean, your staff is called the happiness team.
Yeah.
They recently, actually, the team helped us with a customer experience project that we
Cool.
embarked on at Legalite, and your team was part of that.
Fantastic.
So you absolutely do put members at the heart.
The mandate to the team is deliver happiness. And we
Cool.
obviously have to do that within a budget, within
Yeah.
the realms of the business world. But at the end of the day, I don't care what you need to do, deliver happiness. Just make the members experience, because they're going through hell more often than not. Just give them that shot of happiness, give them that smile, give them that attention, show them that you care, and be genuine and authentic in your delivery. There's no faking it here.
And how do you find team members that buy into that vision? Talk to me about that recruitment process and training, that because you obviously have hired and recruited such amazing people that do deliver on that
Yes.
mission to
Yes.
deliver happiness. How do you find those people?
So there's good and bad, right, in leadership. The fish rots from the head is sort of the bad side of it. So we want to try and avoid that. From my seat, I'm actually no longer the CEO. We actually have an executive CEO in Michael Benson, who's running the company, who's also just a phenomenal businessman and really inspiring guy. But the DNA of this business is me. And I want to make sure that like the mission is very clear: enable success. Yeah. In order for me to enable success, I've got to have people on my team, and I've got to enable their success. And those team members have got to enable our members' success. And so the culture is very strong because people are attracted to the sound bites that will come from this podcast, the sound bites that will come from other stuff, media. I'm very vocal on LinkedIn. I put a lot of content out there on the regular. There's an attraction to that. The difference is that it's not superficial. So when you show up, you got to go through, your happiness training, and that's not just cliche, fun buzzwords. We're very intentional about what we're trying to achieve here. And so, like the fish rots from the head, like the inspiration that my staff get from me, my presence, I'm very conscious of it. I'm very aware of it. But my intention is all about the experience on a day-to-day basis. And so if you're of that, you live and you survive and you thrive.
And you've had staff members with you for like Sade, Lyndon, they've been there from the start.
Nearly 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah. And we've got staff members that have moved interstate and we're opening interstate.
Cool.
And they've tapped me.
They'll come back.
That, circumstantially they've had to move for family or opportunities or whatever. But there's been this void.
Yeah.
I got an amazing email the other day from a former staff member who lives in Sydney, who said they're doing well and they're happy in Sydney, but geez, they miss the camaraderie and the serving and the experience and all the love and care that we put into delivering. And there's a small rumor that we're opening in Sydney in January, which I can qualify as true.
Yes.
And would there be an opportunity to come back?
Did the listener hear it here first?
Possibly. We never burn bridges.
Yeah.
Or I understand sometimes in our organization, those that have left, they've left for two reasons. Either we haven't got the growth path for them and they are capable of doing way more, but I don't have senior leadership roles available because they're finite. Or alternatively, they just haven't subscribed. And
which is okay.
But they leave.
They come
and
back,
then they come back and
they
go,
resubscribe.
oh man, like the grass isn't greener on the other side sort of thing. And I think that is, again, lead by example. Yeah. I can't expect the team to do what I'm not prepared to do myself. And so they've seen me cleaning the bathrooms. They've seen me stacking chairs in the event space. I was the CEO, but I was never too big for my role and responsibility. My role and responsibility is to make sure that we are executing and delivering on all the stuff that you read about us in the media, on our website, on social media, on Google reviews.
You walk the walk.
Yeah.
And it's so important because there's so much noise out there. And I think sometimes you see things on social media and then when you see it in real life, you're like, there's a huge mismatch here.
Yeah.
This is not authentic and it doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
But you absolutely talk the talk and walk the walk.
My mum said you have to put your head on the pillow at night and know that if you don't open your eyes the next day, you've done your best. And so I try to do that. And I'm also leading not only 65 staff, but I'm also leading a young family. And I've had people on my podcast. I'm like, how do you do that? Like, you're doing it yourself right now. Like I had Adam Morse, who would be a great person to have on this show, who looks after seriously wealthy families and legacy and take over as the generational wealth moves from generation to generation. Adam's there sort of helping. And I was like, dude, how do you do that? He's like, you're doing it every day. You're showing your kids the importance of $1. Just the little things. It's not this pie in the sky. And that has impact.
You
and
show up every day, you practice what you preach.
Have you ever thrown a pebble into a still lake or,
not well, but.
But the ripple effect, right?
Yeah.
Of just one little nugget hitting the water. You can never underestimate just the little things. And like for us, there's a lot of people in the co-working space today. There's a lot of co-working operators. I just came off a conference. There's 400 and something operators in Australia.
Wow.
Which is amazing. So you just can't underestimate the impact that each of those operators are having on their local community, good, bad, or indifferent. And so for me, I want to play at the extra mile. I want to play in the non-congested area. We opened the podcast, I said, let everyone go downstream. I want to play upstream. I'm not focused on what other operators are doing or why I'm better or worse than other players in the market. I'm focused on serving my customer. And if I can do that at scale well enough, there are gaps, but well enough, then I don't need to worry about what's going on outside. Furthermore, for anyone that's listening, your competitors really don't pay your bills, right?
Pay bills, no.
Yeah, so you just got to stay hyper-focused on your customer. I got into a bit of a war in the US with my pet loo business. People were ripping me off left, right, and center. We had trademarks and lawsuits going out to all these people because I was an originator. And I found myself over that time spending good money fighting bad stuff. And this is probably not good to say to a lawyer, by the way, but
I'm not a litigation lawyer, so it's fine.
But actually, like the mental aspect of it was negative after negative after negative.
You're draining.
When I had 6,500 pet retail outlets throughout the US, they were paying us hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars a month to replenish their shelves of product. And I'm spending my time fighting the evil side of things. And so I've just decided that after that experience, and it was a successful exit and it was a raging success.
Yeah.
But I decided after that, like, I don't want to dabble in anything negative.
No, it's toxic.
It's too,
I think that is really, really powerful, Toby. And it's so easy when you're in business, especially startup phase, to get really distracted by the competition and you want to prove yourself. And I mean, some people use it as a fuel to show them what's what, which is also great. But I think if it's weighing you down and it's becoming really toxic and taking away or detracting from your vision and your mission, I think what you've just said is just so powerful for every founder to take away.
Agree. And like, it's moreover, the listeners on here are not only founders and business people, but they're probably parents as well. And so my wife distills it down very clearly. It's like, my kids come home and they're upset for whatever. So-and-so didn't play with me nicely, or so-and-so said that my hair looked fine, whatever. We're hyper-focused on the jelly beans, not the onions. So my wife, Sam, calls the kids out at dinner. Okay, 3 jelly beans today, please. What? Give me 3 jelly beans. Don't give me the onions, give me the jelly beans. We're trying to steer them to think about all the great that happened. In fact, if I open my calendar, and I'll show you this after, at 9:30 at night and at 6:30 in the morning, I have 2 calendar reminders that pop up. At 9:30 at night, the calendar says something great is going to happen to me tomorrow.
Aww.
And at 6:30 in the morning, the calendar is something great is going to happen to you today.
Oh, I love that. I'm going to, after this, go and put that in my calendar.
It's recurring every day.
That.
And what it is sometimes I put my head on the pillow and I go, that was shit. That was a really tough day. I really hated it. What am I doing? I feel like I'm drowning in this, that, and the other. But just before I put my head on the pillow, something great's going to happen. I go to sleep with optimism. And then when I wake up and I do my exercises at 6:30, I'm done in the gym. I'm ready to walk the dogs or like do the clothes cleaning or whatever. That calendar comes on. Something great's going to happen to you. It's like, all right, what's it going to be? Like, and I'm hyper focused on the good, not the bad.
Well, this is really cool because it's like you're training your brain to have that abundance mindset and that growth mindset.
Yeah.
Do you think that is something that people should train their brains on? That you practice, make it a habit?
Yeah. So business can kill your optimism really quick. It can kick you straight in the pants and it hurts. And, people that I used to look up to, I'd say, why are you so cynical about that? Why are you so negative? Like, been in business for 30 years, I understand. And I'm like, I don't want that to happen to me. I don't want the energy and optimism and excitement that I have for the day to be, oh God, it's Monday. Got to go deal with some, some bullshit today. I actually it's Monday and my legs work and there's air in my lungs and my heart is beating with no problems. Let's go.
It's a good day.
Let's go. Yeah. Like, there's so many problems out there. I don't, and that's not to be naive or blindly optimistic about the world. I get it. I've got 15,000 members at Cubes. I know all of their stories. Some of them a little bit more intimately than I should. And I know how hard it is. I get it. I've been in a bunch of ventures myself. There was a thing called COVID, and this dickhead, Dan Andrews, said, if you go to the office, you're going to die. Well, I make 100% of my revenue putting my kids through school and food on my table and paying the mortgage by people coming to the office. So I understand the negative side of business, but my God, we are lucky. We live in a great country. It's going through a real bumpy pace at the moment, but I have optimism that it'll all get sorted. I believe deeply that good people win in the end. So if you're not winning today, we're not at the end. And don't get me wrong, there's some dark days. Yeah, I had to just go on vacation. I turned my phone off for 8 days. Literally turned my phone off when I got on the airplane because it said, put your plane on airplane mode. And then when I landed back in Australia, I put my phone back, only turned my phone back on because it's the car key to my, or it's the key to my car, right? I couldn't get into my car. Like, why is the thing not opening? It's like, oh, my phone's in the suitcase, switched off. So I understand the importance of sort of like just stopping and being still. And I did that very successfully on a remote island in Fiji for 8 days. Me, the girls, no screens, no internet, no nothing.
Complete reset.
Yeah. And I'm so excited about closing out the end of the year, taking another vacation soon enough, and 2026, like, let's go.
And what do you think is the difference between this optimism, the growth mindset, and being realistic, like a realistic mindset? I get asked this often because I'm a very optimistic person, and sometimes I get criticized that it's like, you're living in la la land. I'm not. I'm actually a huge realist internally. But what's your perspective on that?
I was just thinking while you were saying this, there's a funny quote, Elon Musk, and I love Elon, and I don't care if you don't like him, I love him. And that's not a political position. I just love his mission and vision. I'm a huge Tesla subscriber.
Entrepreneur.
Yeah, SpaceX, Neuralink, Starlink, everything is amazing. But someone asked Elon, where'd you get your degree? And Elon's like, I didn't, but the people that work for me have got Stanford degrees, right? And so I respond to you in a very similar way. I'm an optimist.
Yeah.
The glass is always going to be half full. You can shit on the table and I'll find something positive to say about it. But I hire people that are realists. And
that's cool.
The energy gets sucked out of me when it's like, oh, really? We're only going to do that? Or we just like, why aren't we playing up here? But I recognize my position in the organization.
And your limitations. That's cool.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that so much. Yeah. And it's like that tried and tested wisdom of surround yourself with people that make you better that fill the gaps that you don't have. Yep. You can't do it without a team.
Yep. So in response, Marianne, I don't have to be a realist or even a pessimist. I've got people on the team that are sort of balancing that. And even my wife, she's with me. She's not wildly optimistic. She's probably more of a realist. It's grounding. It's really important to be grounded. Yeah. And so Michael does that, and Rebecca does that, and Louis does that, and Sam does that. And there's a whole bunch of people that do that for me on the day to day.
Balance each other out.
But my role in the relationship is not to be the realist or the pessimist. My role in this organization and my role as the people's entrepreneur is to
you are the visionary.
Shoot for the moon.
Yeah.
We might hit the light post on the way up.
Yeah.
But my dad always said, aim for the moon. And at least if you fall short, you'll be amongst the stars.
Yeah, I love that.
That got drilled into me at the age of 10 or 11. And I'm aiming for the moon. And I recognize my strengths. I absolutely recognize my weaknesses, which is why I'm no longer the CEO. I'm a founder CEO. I'm a launch guy. Once this thing becomes actually a legit business and beyond scale, and it's sort of, spreadsheets and budgets and forecasts and finances and all that, that's I'd rather I was on a call last night for 2.5 hours with 6 lawyers. And I know this is not a nice thing to say in front of a lawyer.
No, that doesn't even sound enjoyable to me.
But there was 2 entrepreneurs on the call. It was me and there was a guy called Romy. And when the lawyers are talking and battling about their I's and dotting their T's and crossing their I's and whatever, crossing their T's and dotting their I's, I slid down in the chair. And then when Romy was speaking, I was like, oh, here we go. Hold on a second. This is the best part of the meal. I recognize my strengths. I recognize recognize my weaknesses. I know what lights me up. I know what brings me down. And I think I play my role, probably not to perfection, but I think I'm the best at playing the role that I have.
Yeah. And you're in the right position to be doing that.
I think
You
so.
did. You mentioned Michael a couple of times. So you merged with Workspace 365.
I wish it was a merge.
2024?
I wish it was a merge. A merge would have been cheaper. It was an acquisition.
Okay.
And there was a bunch of things as to why. The first is I'm not here to be average. I'm not here to be, it's okay. I want to be the best. And so to be the best, you need to have the best. If you're thinking about being the best in your whatever industry and product and service or experience that you're delivering, you got to have great talent. So for me, there was a whole bunch of reasons as to why we acquired Workspace 365 Victoria. The first is Michael was a polar opposite to me in terms of skill set. Michael is senior to me. I felt this, I felt like I knew what I was doing, but actually Michael had the experience and knew what he was doing, being in the flex space for over 25 years. Michael brought with him senior people, in Rebecca, in Melissa. We've just recruited Craig Marcotte for New South Wales, who's had probably 2 decades worth of experience at a chief operating officer level.
Amazing.
So Craig's joining us end of October is coming on as a state manager, but I think he'll transition quite quickly to a pretty senior role in the organization. Remains to be seen, but again, optimism.
You've got faith, optimism, yep.
The second thing is really so I think talent was really, really important, but the second thing is these things, they do really well at 1 or 2 sites. Yeah, I think that if Sim and I are running this business and we had 2 or 3 sites together and that was our family little business, it'd be great.
Yeah.
We can make some good money, not great money, but good money, stable money. And again, I'm not here to just be average. So I really want it to be scaled, and I didn't want to be scaled for, I want to be the biggest. Our focus has always been, I want to be the best. We happen to be one of the biggest, but it's not the cart in front of the horse. It's, you know what I mean? And so we needed scale. So I actually went to the board and we were sitting at 7 sites. And I was like, guys, we need to get to sort of 15 sites really to really afford and to continue to thrive, but really afford the support office infrastructure that we built. But then also be able to scale, because what cost me at 7 sites to get to 7 to 15, the support office structure is maybe a 10% bump, but it's not a 2x or 3x bump.
Not literally double.
Yeah. So scale was really important. It was either we needed to repent back, which was not why everyone was involved, or we really needed to go. And so Michael had 5 spaces. And so we overnight became 12. So that was really good. And we've got buildings, we've got up to 16 buildings under construction now. So we've got 13, 14, 15, and 16 under construction. So sort of early 26, we'll be at 16 sites pretty quickly. And then the last bit was actually, I know you love creative cubes, and I'm so grateful for that. But there's a lot of people that are polar opposite and allergic to creative. And when I actually understood the customer base at Workspace 365, they were more like corporate. They were more like accountants and financial services and, large organizations that weren't as flamboyant as creative cubes. They weren't as, dare I say, extrovert. They were corporates. They were like, yeah, it's my job, 9 to 5, white collar. So we actually zoomed out on the whole brand, because it was originally just I just wanted to buy a workspace and then call it Workspace by Creative Cubes. But when I really understood who the customer was, I was like, firstly, it's too much. Secondly, it's not going to work. And so I embarked on, Michael actually was the light bulb moment. It was like, we should call it Corporate Cubes. I was like, oh.
Bang on.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. It took me a minute to really, maybe a couple of days to really jump into it. But then I was like, we need an engine that's, you go to a Hilton or you go to a Marriott and you go to a Sheraton or you go to a this one or that. You're getting the same experience behind the scenes. The assets are dressed up differently depending on where they are, serving different customers, but really the engine is the same. You might get an invoice staying at, the W Hotel, but it'll come from a Marriott address, And so I was like, well, creative and corporate are interchangeable, but it's really Cubes Co, right? So then I reached out to a guy who lived in Byron Bay of all places. He bought this domain cubes.co 17 years ago. And his vision was, and giving some airtime here, but his vision was he wanted to create a hotel, which was called the Cubes. And he bought cubes.co as sort of like a redirector site. And so I looked him up on Whois on the domains, and I called his number. I was like, introduce myself, explain my mission and vision. And I said, I would love to buy the domain, cubes.co, because I actually want to have corporate and creative cubes, but it's all powered by Cubes
It's
Co.
all Cubes Co.
And he's like, I love it. And I'm like, oh man, I'm selling him this vision. Now I'm also like shooting myself in the foot because he's like,
the price just went up.
Price went up, right? So he came back to me with a price, and I had to go get board approval. And we bought the cubes.co domain. So now the engine is Cubes Co.
Oh,
If you go to cubes.co, it actually has all of our brands. So it has, you talked about Rise, but it's got creative cubes, it's got corporate cubes, it's got Mic Drop, which is our events business. It's got Timber and Greens, which is our food and beverage arm. It's got Rise. It's got, dare I say, Hear Me Roar, which is the Cubes podcast. And there's a whole bunch of what I call SBUs, strategic business units, that offer an experience at different touch points, whether you're getting a coffee or you need to book a meeting room or an event space, or you need an event space with a catering package because you're running an offsite, or you need an event space because you're running a cocktail party. Like all of that, we own the end-to-end experience through our different SBUs, strategic business units, under different brands to deliver happiness and enable success.
It makes sense. And it's a recognizable name and brand. And for all of those things to come under that brand, I think makes sense. It's very recognizable.
And so what that's done now is it's really opened the market. On the delivery side, it's opened the market. We can serve corporates and creatives. We can service large businesses, enterprise businesses. We can service businesses that are downsizing or scaling up. But then on the other side of the conversation, which is where I spend 90% of my day, I'm able to go to landlords and say, what does your asset look like? What are you wanting to achieve? And then I can dial up and dial down my different business units to support it, right? So in East Melbourne, as an example, the Harris family are very into hospitality. So they've got the guys that run Fonda running our rooftop. I'm not sure you knew that.
I didn't know that actually. And the food is just incredible there. So
I don't need
that makes sense.
Yeah. And they're like Fonda, like you don't need me. You don't need my Timber and Greens. Yeah. We're sort of like a second hat to that. So, but we can plug into that. And if you look at your desk, you got a QR code on your desk, that's food coming. I dialed down Timber and Greens in that to 0 because there's a partner that we could plug into. Similarly, in Sydney, we're opening a corporate cubes at 347 Kent Street, breaking news. And we're not putting an event space in because the environment and the building.
It's a different environment.
It's different, right? And so I'm able to dial up and dial down these business units to work hand in glove with landlords and asset owners and REITs to be able to deliver what the end user wants, which is flexibility wherever they go.
Cool. Yeah, I love that. And you mentioned Rise Network before, or I did as well. Firstly, what is it? And tell me about why this was important to you.
Yeah. So I feel like we do space and community really, really, really well. I think we still have gaps and I still think there's ways to improve, but we are intent on improving and we know that we're not too big for our boots. Yeah. We're humble and we're always striving to do better. I feel like space and community sometimes they're a bit, I don't want to say superficial in as much as the fakeness, because that's not what it is, but it's surface level.
It's surface, yeah.
Like you come in, not you, but you come in and you go into your office, you might participate. And I know you got some kids and your son plays footy and this one does that. But I don't really know you. And I don't really know the trials and tribulations that you're actually going through. And maybe you're not brave enough to share it openly.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to go deeper with community. I wanted to be able to support community in a way that went beyond the awesome fit outs and the amazing happiness team and the amazing activations that we do on site and the gatherings and the networking and stuff like that. I wanted to go deeper and go, I get it. I've eaten shit for years myself and you don't have to be embarrassed. You don't have to be shy. And so there are a lot of groups out there that kind of do it. You've got your YPOs. If you're sort of north of 10 million, you could subscribe to that. You got your EOs that if you're north of $1 million, you could do that. But and then you've got CEO Institute and you've got your EA Institute. And they've got all the, and by the way, we support all of them on our property. Yeah, we're not competitive with them. But at the end of the day, right, some of those groups are really expensive to get into. And whilst we've nested them into our environments, our members are not like latching on.
They might not be part of it.
Yeah, they're not latching on. And when I ask them why, they say, 1, it's too expensive, or 2, they don't feel like they belong. And so belonging is a really important value of ours. And so I don't really need the money. I don't need to charge you $15,000 a year to come to my Rise networking group. It's $460 a month, $460 a month. There's no joining fees or signups. I think with some of these other organizations, it's $15,000 a year after you pay $15,000 up front, or $10,000 or $5,000. Like, I just wanted to remove the barrier to entry, which was the financial issues. And then I wanted to offer it in my venues and facilities for people to gather, facilitated professionally, and the cohorts are led professionally. But I wanted to break down all the barriers to entry, and I wanted to, again, just enable success. And I wanted to do it at a level that was beyond the, hi, Marianne, it's great to see you. How's things? How's Jared? How was your weekend? How are the kids? To like, did you get on top of that issue last week? Again, not openly, but in a
deeper level, in a trusted environment.
Exactly. And actually, I'm a consumer of Rise myself. So I actually go to Rise, not as the founder, but actually just as a customer. Because I understand the importance, and Rise is thriving. We've got a bunch of cohorts. Some of the cohorts are sort of sub $1 million of revenue in terms of so we've got SBC1, which is sort of not startups, but established businesses that are sort of tinkering below the $1 million mark. We have cohorts that are a lot larger, and then we have cohorts that are doing 25 and 35 and $40 million of revenue each, that are getting together. Leaders are getting together and airing their dirty laundry and going through facilitation, and it's wildly addictive. And for me, it just feels like it was the missing cog in the wheel to really completing the journey of delivering happiness and enabling success. So that's where
cool.
Rise is from, yeah.
And I love that you saw another gap and you did something about it.
Yeah.
With the combination of the physical space, the community, the member experience that you've built, and we spoke a bit about COVID and how tough that was, and it did change work.
Yep.
What do you see as the future of work in the next kind of 2 to 5 years?
Yeah, so people look at us like, oh man, you got in front of it. Wow, you're amazing. Everyone wants flexibility. But the truth is, like, without technology today, none of this would be possible. A lot of people are running their whole companies on their laptops because of cloud technology, because of VPNs, because, a whole bunch of stuff that's way outside of my control and what we do. But because the world has moved there, it's enabled people to be able to choose where they want to work. And some people are really happy working from home, and I think that's great. I think that, and there's other people that are really happy working from the office. I think for what we unlock is we're really light on the balance sheet. So you don't have to take a lease with us and, give this 6-month bond that sits in trust and just does no one any favors. It's a membership, which is, by the way, it's a P&L expense. It's a tax deduction versus a liability sitting on your balance sheet. So I think then people are able to use that balance sheet money to go and grow their business. So I think that's really, really, really important. There's a couple of other things that are really important to organizations. Earning the commute is something that's been really profound in a post-COVID world. I think, by the way, COVID was the most painful experience of my entire life. But when I reflect back, it really has been an accelerant.
I imagine it would be, because so many businesses left their, traditional office space to look for something more flexible like what you're offering.
So a lot of people plugged into us. When I say people, large organizations like Lululemon, Porsche, KFC, Virgin Australia, Judo Bank, organized a bank.
Huge.
The Victorian government. We have Labor in one building. We have Liberal in another building. I don't care for politics. But they would never have looked at us in a pre-COVID world, right? And so having those organizations in our environment validates that no one's too big, and actually companies and industries and governments, dare I say, have humbled themselves to understand what's really important to their workforce. What's really important to their workforce is making sure that they feel like they belong, like they feel motivated, they're engaged. Lululemon is a great example. We'll probably end up losing them, to be honest. But when they came to us, they had 90 staff. They were getting sort of 10, 12 people to the office a day in a 2,000 square meter facility, which is like giving a Tic Tac to a whale. Yeah. It's like a nut. Is there anyone in here today? There's 10 people. I barely even know. Yeah. They downsized to 45 desks at our Collingwood site. We delivered happiness, we delivered experience, we delivered amenity, we delivered energy. They've They're now full at 45 desks. Everyone's like fighting to get a
cool.
desk. They've taken another like 15 or 20 desks.
Now they're outgrowing.
Yeah, in a an adjacent office. And now it's probably at the tipping point where it's like economically not viable. But we played our role. Just like I played my role as a founder CEO, I'm no longer the CEO because this is no longer a launching business. It's on the rail, right? It's got its track. And so like earning the commute and driving community and driving energy and vigor into these organizations, like our spaces are really exhilarating to be a part of. And, the old CEO that says, we're a multinational or we're ASX listed. Well, so I've got 10 ASX listed companies I've got NASDAQ listed companies in my spaces. It's about the people.
It's about the people.
It's about what matters to the people. You want to get the most out of your people, inspire them, energize them, lift them up. Yeah. Don't talk down to them and deliver on, like, that's not to like be soppy and be at their beck and call, but just recognize what's important. And a big office, dare I say, on Collins Street, I've got 2 buildings on Collins Street, so I'm not poo-pooing Collins Street, but a big office on Collins Street is not really where the worker is today. The worker wants flexibility. The worker maybe wants to come in 4 days a week. We are booming Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. We're a bit dead on Mondays and Fridays, but that's what we offer. We offer that flexibility and convenience that sits as a P&L expense, that is tax deductible, that is driving weight. Like I had members in our Hawthorne site go, man, I could never afford a gym downstairs.
Exactly.
And a Pilates studio at the back and a cafe and an event space in my own office.
And it's great for the business because you can have clients there and your team gets to enjoy the amenities as if you were in top end of Collins Street, where our team gets that benefit and we love it so much.
I think the actual net benefit is exactly what it was for me when I was in LA, which was on the left of me was Travis Kalanick building Uber, and on the right of me was Evan Spiegel building Snapchat. And if I was in my own office, in my own building, on my own floor, consuming, dare I say, my own dog food, you don't see what those guys are doing on the day-to-day. You don't see, you might read it in the headlines, but if you're in the grind with them, not in their business, have nothing to do with either of their success, but if you see them like, man, why can't I do that? Why can't I level up? And so the inspiration, and we're seeing a lot of companies today, they're cross-promoting each other on the floor. They're cross-pollinating with each other. They're introducing other people to people, and everyone's rising together like the tide that rides all, helps all boats rise. So I think there's a mixed bag of stuff. And then on the other side of it is the landlord. It's like, we've got 2 buildings that are pretty shitty. Buildings, not my floor. My floors are mint, but the buildings are pretty average now compared to what's out there today.
What you're doing now.
It's like old hat. And so I'm working with landlords to like, how do I bring my asset, my 50, 60, $150 million asset into relevancy today? Well, you need experience, amenity, you need energy. And so they're calling or emailing or inboxing me on LinkedIn going, we have this, we need some help. We thought we could do it ourselves. We started our own co-working space. We're just the landlord. Can you come in and help? And so the growth of where we're going is actually recognizing that we're actually a 2-sided marketplace, much like Uber, where you've got the cars and you've got the customers. And so you just need that booking platform in the middle. And Airbnb is very similar. We are actually a 2-sided marketplace. On the one side, we've got landlords that have got assets that are sitting vacant because, dare I say, office space is not in vogue at the moment. And on the other side, we've got people like yourself and organizations that I've mentioned on this pod that are just wanting to come together 3 days a week, just wanting to have a meeting room. They want to work from home, but they can't meet their client at their kitchen table. And so for 150,000 different reasons, all in the same minute across 15 sites in Australia today, we're serving that demand and that inquiry and making sure that if we touch them, it's going to be an amazing experience.
Brilliant. Yeah, brilliant. Toby,
Yes.
to wrap up,
Yes.
I've got 2 just quick and sharp questions
Yes.
for you. What is one piece of advice you've got for someone who's got a bold idea?
Yeah, just do it.
Yeah.
I think when I say that, it's not just leap off the bridge and just figure it out, right? But don't die wondering. Like really go to market, test it, push it. I actually, this isn't a plug, but I coach and mentor a handful of startups and scale-ups on a weekly basis. It's in after hours for me, but I probably do about 10 hours a week over and above 60 hours of cube stuff. And the advice and support that I'm giving these businesses is to help them just do it.
Yeah.
You know, some people are just too caught up in the theory. Like I had a call this morning from a guy. He's like, hey, I know you said this, but like, is this okay? I was like, man, it's just a text message.
You're overthinking it.
Let's just throw it out there. I don't have a
it's-
secret answer.
Yeah, it's fear that holds a lot of founders back.
so my advice is
you've got to push through the fear.
Yeah, just do it and make sure that when you do it, you're not putting everything at risk. I think there's times where you can put everything at risk, and I've done that multiple times, but not to start out. And so if I can give a second piece of advice, it's to just do it. Is 2 ears, 1 mouth, which is listen twice as much as you speak, because sometimes in just doing it, people are so headstrong on this is what I want to do, and they want to just take off. But actually, you can go faster if you go slow it down. You know, you think about the bow and arrow, you have to pull it back in order for it to launch. And so if you could listen twice as much as you think, and listen to people that have no emotional tie to you. Don't speak to your husband. Don't speak to your mom, your sisters, your Brad, your dad, your brother. Speak to people that don't know you, because mom and dad are only gonna love and care for you, and they're gonna gently advise. Whereas a stranger is just gonna be real. And if you can just listen to that, maybe instead of just going straight up and to the right, we go down a little bit, and we go like a little bit more vertical.
Destination. Take a little detour.
Yeah, but more vertical. And so I think just do it. Don't die wondering, but make sure we're listening to the customer or listening to prospects twice as much as we speak. And just be jelly.
I think sometimes things, turn out a different way to how you set out
Magic,
to start it out. Lastly, where can people find you and Cubes?
No, don't come. Don't. It's too much. No, I'd appreciate anyone that's listening if you could check out cubes.co. That's really sort of like our link tree.
Yeah.
It's got all of our brands there. People will shoot you off onto different websites that we own to depending on what your needs are. We have 12 sites in Victoria. We're establishing Adelaide at the moment, 3 sites in Adelaide, and New South Wales is opening early 26. And then not far after that, we'll take Queensland on as well. And then it'll be about just building out New South and adding a couple more to Queensland. And I think by the time I'm done on this journey, it'd be sort of 30 to 35 sites. Yeah. Really strong business, great community, and hopefully, we're at 15,000 members today. I'd hope to get to sort of 30 to 50,000 members, and I hope that we've positively impacted every one of those businesses in the most smallest way possible, but that has profound impact. And I'm not driven by anything other than just wanting to make people be the best version of themselves, because I know I get that from my family. My wife is always like, go out there, be the best version of yourself today. My mom and my sisters always like positively reinforcing everything I'm doing, even if it's dark and lonely. And so I just hope that I can do that for others.
You have done that and you're doing it. And as Legalite has been part of that journey, and it's been such a pleasure to bring this conversation to the listener today as well. So thank you.
I appreciate it. And you know what? We talk about being inspired. I do a lot of inspiring, and hopefully there's a lot of people that are really lit up right now listening to this, but I have to draw my inspiration from somewhere. And I still, like I said this to you, I've said this to you a few times, I still remember you coming in, dare I say, with sweaty hair, your Lululemons, you came from CrossFit, and you were like, I'm starting my business, or I want to take my business out of my home study and establish myself. And it's been one of the greatest privileges of the Creative Cubes journeys. I'm dead serious with you.
Thank you.
To be able to support you from your early team and the dog and the dogs to Jared and now your amazing team that's set up nationally. I draw a lot of inspiration, and I have zero upside to that other than I put my head on the pillow at night and I feel great about what we're doing because of people like you. So thank you for having me on, and it's been a real privilege to be able to support you guys in the smallest way.
Oh, no, it's been a very big part of our journey. So, I really, really appreciate it. And so does my team. We just love being part of the Cubes community.
Thank you.
Thank you, Toby.
All right. Cheers.
If you loved what you heard, make sure you follow the podcast so you never miss an episode. Or even better, leave us a review. And if you have a bold idea of your own, I'd love to hear from you. Check out the show notes to get in touch.